Well, hello there, everyone. Today is Friday, July 17th, as I'm filming this video. And this is going to be a highly exciting episode, or at least I sincerely hope this will be a highly exciting episode. Oh, look at that. My mother has just gotten home. Of Fans on Friday. So what I have here is my 1950 Emerson model 79646AX. And this thing has a recurring problem. I bought this fan at an antique shop in the Hill Country, Texas, actually in a little town called Blanco, when we went camping there right before lockdown. I bought this. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I'd always wanted one of these. So, and a couple months ago, I was running this, and one evening it was having a difficult time starting on low. And finally got that sorted out. I just solved that problem by running it on high. And the next morning, my mother came into the room and turned it off when I needed to get up. And a couple of hours later, I went back in there to turn it back on, and it was completely stuck. And it sat dormant for a week or two, and then I plugged it in, and it worked fine. Now the same thing has happened again. It's not completely stuck this time, but it's having a very difficult time getting started. So we're going to see what has to be done about that. I brought it into the shop. You can see that on low it's not starting. Or on medium. On high it is, but it's getting a slower start than it should be. So. What do you have there? Trying to figure out what's going on with this besides bearings, because that can't be the problem because we've already fixed that. Makes you think I don't know how to work on this. Oh, I hate these stupid contacts. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Oh, nope. Come on. Come on. Apply more power. Oh. That's lame. See if it'll pick up any speed. Maybe I give it a little bit of help here. Come on. Anyway, so that's the problem we're dealing with here. Now, last time this happened, I just put a little WD-40 in there just to loosen up the grease. That hasn't worked, so now I'm going to go over to the lubricants area and see if we happen to have any zoom spout. I know that zoom spout is definitely something that you can use on these. I don't know if I have any or not, but I'm sure it's all going to look right now. And there's liquid wrench, but that's not really going to help anything. I don't need liquid wrench. Liquid wrench is not helping me. Need what is this? That might work. can use that. It's not the ideal thing to use, but it will work. Just about 3-in-1 oil would be better, but this is the closest thing I have. And I do know that this will work just from watching other videos of people doing the same thing with theirs. Gotta get this little cap off here. There's our little oil port right in there. Let that soak. We'll see if that helps. Now the other thing I might take a look at doing, but I don't know if it'll be the subject of this week's Fans on Friday or not. I was looking at pictures of these and discovered that these blades would have originally been black, which makes sense because there is a little bit of residue there. So at some point in the future I probably will be fixing that, and I'm going to have to do something about the rust on the guards here. I could get away with not de-rusting this, but it just looks better. And we'll see if... I can already tell you that's already more free up. It's already freed up more than it was. It's already a hell of a lot better than it was. I'll let it sit for a few minutes. I'm gonna go find something else to do in the backyard or something for a couple of minutes, let that sit, and we'll come back and see if it's a lot happier, but I can already tell it's a lot happier than it was. So, we'll be back in just a few moments, and hopefully this thing will be running a ton better than it was. The other thing by the way, I should probably mention this. When I first joined the Antique Fan Collectors Association Facebook group, I posted a picture of this and gave a description of its problem, and they said, yeah, the bearings probably need a little work. But I also said in that post that it sometimes makes a little bit of a rattling noise when it runs. It won't do it when it's not running, obviously. But I put that in there too, and they said, oh, well, that could be a loose blade, and they told me, how to eyeball that, whatever, which I already knew. And these blades are balanced. I've already checked that. The blades are perfectly balanced. So the other thing that they suggested was maybe that it needs new fiber washers in the motor, which is entirely possible, but I don't have the time or the know-how to take this little bullet motor apart to fix that. That's already a ton better than it was. It's probably going to need a little more than that, but that's easy enough. See if it might actually be loose enough that it might actually start now. Nope. Come on. It is starting on low now with a little help, which it was not doing previously. Give it a little more and see if that helps. Did not give it very much. Give it a little more and see what happens. I really gave her a lungful that time. Let that sit. And back in just a few moments. I'm going to unplug this just because I don't want anyone turning it on while we're working on it. Alrighty. Oh. It's dripping a little bit. I have to wipe that up before I bring it back upstairs. Alright, I unplugged it. It's already a bit freer than it was. Apparently this feeds through the oscillator, so it's dripping a little bit right in there, but we know how to solve that issue. Let's just wipe it up, just like so. Oh yeah, that's already a ton better. I'm gonna let it sit for a second here. You know what? Let's see. I can already tell it's freer. It's already freeing up. See if he'll start on its own. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's all it needed. Yep. That was easy. Wow. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot better than it was. So, the other thing I might attempt doing, obviously not, it's like I said, a hell of a lot better than it was. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this back up, back into the room where it belongs, which namely is my bedroom. Going to press it back into service. I think in a future episode of Fans on Friday, or maybe I'll even make a series out of working on this thing. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot better. Oh yeah, that's maybe even in a future episode, I may even make like a series all to this thing. Actually, I probably will do that. So what I'll probably end up doing in that other series that I film, another episode will probably be cosmetics, where I take some steel wool and liquid wrench or something to this rusted grill, and also pop the grill off and paint these blades black like they were originally supposed to be. We'll go ahead and take this fan back up to where it belongs, but that's really, I don't care about the cosmetics. It's not really it's not yet a fan that's going to get actively shown, rather than it's a fan that's going to get actively used. So I don't want to make it too nice to the point where I'm afraid to run it, like where I'm afraid to use it on a day-to-day basis, which is really this thing's main purpose in its life here, is not really to be pretty, but more to be functional, which right now it's a little bit of both, but that oil definitely helps some things, so apparently I need more than one hand to open a doorknob. That has not been my experience, but I'll set the fan down. Of course, my hands are sweaty, so that could be part of it, because it's 95 plus degrees outside. And of course, we had a thunderstorm earlier today. Tell you what, you don't like the weather in Texas, wait 15 minutes. But let's see what our handiwork, I can already tell you, though, it's a million times happier than it was. Of course, this fan had been sitting around in this little antique shop for a long time. So you can't really blame it for laying down and dying, but like I said, it ought to be a ton and a half happier than it was. Go ahead and flip the camera around. I'll plug it in to the power strip of science, or more like the power strip of the lamp, the fan, and not pictured because it fell. Uh-oh. There's supposed to be a little piece on there that has clearly come off of there when it fell, but I see it, so I'll fix it later. I'm also going to glue this felt back on, but again, that's another project for another day. Yep. That. And I mean, it's like, it must have been stiff to begin with, because it was not, this is low speed. It used to run a bit slower than that. And look how long the spin down time is now. What smell? I'll look. But yeah. Outside. Because she wanted to be outside. Anyway. So, that's it for this week's edition of Fans on Friday. We might make another video, we'll see, I haven't decided yet, but that's the main purpose of this week's Fans on Fridays, to get this thing back into fighting trim, which we have definitely succeeded in doing. I'll run it tonight and see if it gets warm, but this thing's typically not too bad for running hot. The other Emerson I have, which I'll throw into this video, I have another little Emerson desk fan, which cools off the closet. This one's a much later model. It's a 1964 model, 94646D model that was given to me by my grandparents. This fan always runs hot. It doesn't run hot, but it runs a hell of a lot warmer than that does. That one's always run cool, and this one's always run hot. Even when that one's been in the family since new, and even then that one ran hot. So that's it for this week's Fans on Friday. Again, I might do another one, but later in the day, we'll see. I might make a video about the Galaxy while I'm at it, but there we go.